So how are you doing? Good, good, all right. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm sure you got tons and tons of advice. And one thing as I'm listening was that one consistent advice that everybody had is that to be successful in American culture, you have to be able to communicate, right? I mean, I think you got it. And we've heard it 4 times that you have to be able to communicate. So I want to share a little bit of my own story about communication. So my first job, professional job with a company by the name of EDS, which is now HP, if you know EDS. I was hired as my first professional job out of college, I was hired as a management consultant. And they said, look, if you're going to be a good management consultant, you have to learn how to present. And so the way you learn how to present is that you prepare these small presentations, 5 minutes, and then you present it, they put it on camera, they make you watch it. Now you know what happens when you watch yourself. You feel like you're going to die now, there's no point living anymore. That's the end of that. Anyway, so I went through all that stuff, 3 days of intensive training and stuff like that. So my first big presentation, there are like 30, 40 people in the room, summer afternoon, and this one guy in the back, he falls asleep. Okay, and I'm saying, gee, nobody taught me how to deal with this thing, it's like, what do you do when somebody falls asleep? Well, then he started to snore. So now I lost the entire group, because they're all looking at me like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this thing? And so there was this young lady sitting next to this guy and said, look, he's obviously interrupting everything, can you wake him up? And she said, look, you put him to sleep, you wake him up. So that's all about communication. So anyway, I'm going to take about 8, 9 minutes and kind of give you some data points. You heard a lot of good advice, but I want to give you some data points to say why it's important to listen to Yambing and George and Neetu and Lynn. It's good. And because there's a lot of stuff happening. You all know about the change and disruption. And in fact, I feel like surviving and advancing in the corporate world is the same as having fun and being successful in they're not separate things. They're all the same thing. That's the way you have to look at life. So before I get started, just since many of you may not know Northeastern, I will give you some context of who I am. So Northeastern is a Boston-based university, been around for 150 years, a top 50 research university, and they decided to launch a campus in Silicon Valley, here in San Jose. So I just want to invite you all to come visit. We do a lot of fun stuff, but one of the things we do is called soft skill workshops. A lot of stuff you heard. We do these lunchtime workshops, open to everybody to meet up, so if you're interested, look us up. But that's what Northeastern is, and we're just offering our degree programs, special programs, IoT, big data, and all that stuff for computer science and engineering. So that's good for Northeastern. So here's kind of my basic premise that I will share with you. This is from Bill Gates, that we always overestimate the change that occurred in the next 2 years. Because we see this stuff and say, oh my God, something is happening, I gotta react to it. But then we tend to give up on it. And then we tend to underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10 years. And the next 10 years are extremely, extremely disruptive. And that's the reason, if there's a reason to act, that's the reason to act. So let me give you some data points. So this February there was a Davos, the World Economic Forum. So this year they talked about the future of jobs. So I'm giving you 3, 4 data points on the future of jobs. But the basic premise is that a lot of jobs are going through very significant change over the next 10 years. That's it. A lot of jobs are going to go through very significant change this year. A lot of jobs will disappear, but a lot of new jobs will appear. I'm not saying the economy is going to tank. I'm simply saying it's going to be a huge amount of turbulence that's going to take place, and that's the reason to listen to our speaker earlier today. So the first data thing is that because of robots and new working ways, by 2020, which is like 4 years away, 5 million jobs are going to be lost. And that's not a small number. Here's another data point. This is over the next 10 years. 47% of US jobs are at risk because they're advancing. And risk doesn't mean they go away. Risk simply means that they'll reshape themselves. And like Lynn was pointing out, that if you're not ready, you may find yourself becoming obsolete. This is an example. This is from the Stanford Mall, and they have this, RoboCop. I thought of all the jobs. Security jobs are going to be always, intact, and they're replacing. And actually, what's interesting is that the way the company is marketing them, they're renting them. So you say, why should I pay $20 an hour to a real human security guard? Why don't I just pay $6.25 an hour? So that's an example of even at the kind of jobs you think that would be intact, they are at risk. Here's another little bit of research I did. So the driverless car. We all look at the good side of driverless car, and I can sit back and party or whatever we're going to do. But think about the bus driver. Think about the truck driver. Think about the cab driver. Just in the US alone, these are 5 million jobs. So it's interesting that, and when you think about these things, think about machine learning. I'm in the tech business. Machine learning is the big thing that's happening right now. Artificial intelligence, a lot of stuff in the lower end of tech and lower end of engineering is going to all just slow it. But the skill level and the knowledge level required, the high end, that's going to become more and more highly paid. And unfortunately, all this is contributing to the middle class crisis. That a lot of these jobs that were sort of in the middle, they're under a lot of pressure. So this is a chart, you may not be able to see it, but basically this is back from Davos, and it talks about the job families that are in the rise, which is architecture, engineering, computer, mathematical, no surprises, management, business, financial operations, sales would never go away. But the other that are shrinking, office and administrative, manufacturing and production, even arts, design, entertainment, sports and media, construction, extraction. So you can see a lot of labor, a lot of low knowledge content kind of jobs that are under a lot of pressure. And so when you look at what are the skills that are going to demand, is I don't want to go through all the lists, but number one, complex problem solving, higher level of cognitive thinking, critical thinking, creativity, people management, teamwork. These are the kind of skills that are going to become much more sort of dominant. So let me just throw in one more data point. So when all this is happening, what I'm trying to point out that a lot of jobs at the lower end, at least in the US, at the lower end of the spectrum, are going to see a lot of pressure, but the higher end require a lot of skills. Become specialized, that was the thing. That's the vertical part of the team. But now, because of what's called design thinking and creativity and problem solving, we need to know a lot of different things. So that's kind of the new concept. The T-shaped individuals are the ones who are going to be more successful. Oops, sorry, wrong button. So 3 things, just to wrap this up. I think this also wraps the wrapper around everything you're hearing. Education, lifelong learning. You got to think about, am I current? Am I relevant? I'm getting ahead. And by the way, in this day and age of internet, even if you don't have a lot of time to get master's, PhD, and there's books, there's all kinds of options to continue to learn. The second is, Lynn talked about it, network. Do you have a network? And not only, I'm of Indian descent, a lot of you are Chinese Americans here. We tend to network with our own kind. We got to step out of that comfort zone. We have to say, is our network broad enough and big enough? And then the second part is probably the most critical part, which is soft skills, which is what a lot of you heard about. Hard skills gets you the job, soft skills make you successful. In fact, there's a lot of studies basically say your professional success, 20% is attributed to what you know, your hard skills, and the other 80% comes from the soft skills, whether it's communication and negotiations, playing the political game, managing a boss. I love this topic. All these things that there's about 20 different areas, and that's the one I was talking about. That as a community service, we do it at Northeastern. So come see us. Look it up. It's the lunchtime workshops that we offer. And so I always love the story of a shoe salesman, 2 shoe salesmen who went to a remote part of Africa, and one of them emailed back and saying, there's no market here because nobody wears shoes. And the other guy emailed back and saying, there's an unlimited market because nobody wears shoes. So it's really up to you. Is this a problem or is this an opportunity? So that's my pitch. With that, I'd like to invite our panel to